Business Live today.
All right, welcome back to the program on the day that the Prempeh College won the National Science and Math Quiz for the 4th time and the green tie in solidarity with the winning team. Let's do the real stuff now. Visiting Group Chief Executive of Unilever, Paul Pullman, has announced plans to create almost 5 million jobs in the country. The jobs, according to the group boss, will be created through some projects that it is currently undertaking in the country. Now, Mr. Pullman announced that the company is working to invest some 35 million euros more this year to aid its expansion drive this year. Speaking to Joy Business after his engagement with the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said, Mr. Pullman said Unilever is committed to investing more into the economy. Now, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, on his part, expressed government's commitment to create the enabling environment to attract more investments in the country.
Whole vision is to create an economy that is able to deliver that transformation. And that economy, to be able to deliver that transformation, must be a business-friendly economy. Must be an economy with an investment climate that encourages investment for the long term. And so we have been looking at putting into place the framework that would enhance the investment climate, make it very business friendly. So we are telling Kagame that Ghana is very soon going to be the most business friendly,
some healthy competition,
most business friendly economy on the continent, and then we are going to work steadily towards that. Of course, we've been in government about 6 months now, and the president has moved quickly to implement some tax reforms, for example, to try to make the burden of businesses less, and to shift the focus of economic policy away from taxation per se towards production. Because it's our view that if you focus on taxation, it's a symptom of a problem, that you are mismanaging your finances and you are looking increasingly for more taxes and more taxes and more taxes to finance those deficits. So we want to build a macroeconomy that reduces the deficits and therefore reduces the need for continued increases in taxation. Generally and ideally, we want to be a low-tax economy, because we believe that as a low-tax economy, the incentives for more investment is there. When there's more investment, there's more production, more employment, and then you get your taxes, on the consumption side, on the employment side, and so on. So we believe that, we don't have to try to collect it at the front end, when people are bringing in goods and so on. So that is basically something that we're trying to do. So we're trying to maintain the macro stability, make sure that the deficits are low, interest rates therefore become lower, inflation is therefore lower, and then we maintain currency stability.
Now, CEO of Dalex Finance, Ken Thompson, says government must prioritize the city stabilization instead of focusing on the IMF program. He was reacting to or interacting with Joy Business's Charles Aite on the sidelines of an event to announce a partnership between Dalex Finance and the Shinkafa Buni Rice Farmers Association in Accra.
The much talked about bailout program between the IMF and Ghana has finally surfaced, as we have come to the clear indication that there's going to be an extension of the program. In the midst of this very extension, various economists and concerned citizens in the financial sector specifically have been sharing their various thoughts and concerns. Right here at Dalex Finance, the head of the institution, Ken Thompson, caught up with us, and he had a different perspective to this very development.
I really don't understand where this debate is going. I really don't understand it. And here's it. It's very simple. You earn 1,000 cedis. You spend 700 cedis on your house helps and on paying interest on your loans. So you're left with 300 cedis. You haven't paid school fees. You haven't bought food. You haven't bought petrol. You haven't done anything else. You haven't gone to a hospital. You haven't saved. You haven't sent your mother money. Then you go to your big brother. He says, big brother, I'm tight. So lend me some money so I can rearrange my affairs. Your big brother says, well, if I'm going to lend you money, then you can't have any more wives. Then you must have 2 house helps. Then you have to change your children's school, because they can't go to GIS. They have to go to the local school. And you say, fine, you agree. If you go back and you think that, well, my big brother is unreasonable, don't take the money. The IMF is not forcing us to take the money. I mean, we have gone to them to say, we need money to help us, to tide us over whilst we rearrange affairs. And they are saying that if we'll give you money, these are our conditions. We can take it or leave it. This, and I think this IMF issue comes up because it's a red herring. It does not allow us to focus on the real issues. The real issues are that the value of the cedi in our pocket is dead, is next to zero, and the productive sector is dead. There are no jobs. Those are the real issues. What has the IMF got to do with it? If we don't want the money, take it back. I mean, why are we going on about the IMF? As if the IMF is a silver bullet that will solve our problem. That is not the problem. That's not the issue. We have to learn to cut our coat according to our size. We've got to learn to live within our means. It's that simple. Leave the IMF out of the debate. What's the IMF got to do with it? You've come to me. You say you are tight. I've lent you money. I said these are my conditions. Now you go back and you're complaining. Give me back my money. It's a non-argument. This is a non-argument.
So you are just against this whole issue of the IMF coming in to help us in the bailout program?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if the IMF, we've gone to borrow money from the IMF, like any lender, they'll have their terms. If we think their terms are too onerous, let's not take the money.
The National Food and Buffer Stock Company says it has initiated moves to rehabilitate some abandoned warehouses by September this year to absorb proceeds from the Planting for Foods agenda. Now, in an interview with Joy Business, the acting CEO for the National Food and Buffer Stock Company said these warehouses are currently being assessed.
The National Food and Buffer Stock Company, NAFCO, is leading the assessment of some abandoned warehouses across the country in preparation for agricultural proceeds emerging from the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative. Acting Chief Executive of NAFCO, Abdul Wahab Hanan, said they are expectant of a bumper harvest.
Our 2015 stock balance, we have 15,000 metric tons of maize and 5,000 metric tons of rice. But these quantities were released into the system in 2016. So as we speak now, we have zero stock balance, but plans are far advanced to mop up excesses from farmers from the harvest of the Planting for Food and Jobs. We are looking at about 150,000 metric tons of white maize, then 50,000 metric tons of yellow maize, 300,000 metric tons of local produced rice, and looking at 20,000 metric tons of soya bean.
Plans to have the warehouses refurbished are said to be far advanced, and the CEO of NAFCO says they are hopeful some of the warehouses will be ready by September this year.
We are going around assessing the abandoned cocoa sheds, which are over 100,000 metric tons capacity. We are done with Central region, Brong-Ahafo region, Western region. We are currently in Ashanti region. Eastern region and Volta region would also be attended to after Ashanti region. And Ministry of Food and Agriculture is going to hand over these warehouses to National Food Buffer Stock after we have renovated it to good standard for storage, and to add it to the existing ones that we have, which is about 33,000 metric tons. And I think it will take us far. But with what we are doing, we are trying to identify, out of what we are going around assessing, would identify the ones we can immediately work on to meet this harvesting season. So we are looking at, by the end of September, we should be able to put the strategic ones in place for usage.
Additionally, the government intends to construct 1,000 capacity warehouses in each of the 216 districts as efforts are being made to tackle food security.
All right, now if you've been monitoring our network today, you may have realized that the bridal fair has opened, and we get to talk about the bridal industry because it has been growing especially steadily in recent years, much to the benefit of sectors associated like the jewelry and media, among others. Now, to what extent are lavish weddings contributing to this group? Here's Kuku Appiah's report.
To commemorate important moments in our lives is the reason for some of the greatest inventions known to man. Weddings are a memorable occasion in a person's life. This is probably why photographers have become such a huge part of the wedding industry. With millions of weddings happening globally every day, photographers have become the catalogers of history for many couples. But how much does it cost to have the best? Joy Business spoke to the founder of photography company Team 1000 Words, Kwame Pucho, to get a better idea of how the industry is evolving.
The thing you have to note about pricing is that there are different photographers giving different offers. And quality, well, it's dependent on you. If you judge that the quality of what they are giving is fine, then that's fine. So it can start as low as 1,000 Ghana cedis and go as high as 25,000 Ghana cedis and even beyond. Again, every photographer is making an offer and they are able to convince clients to pay the amount that they are offering their photography as. So it's really a very varied space. Interestingly, right, early, like 2010, 2011, people were paying in dollars and even bringing in photographers. People could spend about $10,000 on their photography. So interestingly, even though people seem to talk about the fact that photography prices have gone high, not so much. That it's rather that most people are demanding for better quality photography. And so in terms of budgeting, they've had to up how much they would have usually paid. So because of that, it's created the impression that it's costing more. But in actual fact, I've heard people pay $10,000 for their photography. When I started in this industry, the amount I used to charge was considered peanuts. Now, it's like the big deal. And if I look at the pricing I used to have then and compare it to now, the value has not changed. But, well, not a lot of people can afford to pay that now.
There are many things that stand out to us as we admire wedding photos. Accessories are some of those things. But how does the accessory sector factor into the wedding industry? And how much are people willing to spend to look their best? Joy Business spoke to the branch manager of Rosanero, Wajdi Chibli, to find out how his company caters for that industry.
We have different design and nice also, beautiful design. Okay. For all people, we have different price. And for all people, you know, sometimes the customer come and ask about the price. Sure, we have we start 2,005 Ghana cedi and up. For the 3 set, you can get 12,000 Ghana cedi. Sure, we talk about gold, 18 karat, and diamond. Okay. It's 12,000. Okay, yeah. Let me tell you something. Now, if you have money and you go and buy car, okay, after 1 month, and you're going to sell the car, you're going to lose the money, some of the money. But they pay money, this money. You pay money for money, this gold, the international price. Okay. I advise to come and look first, and they see the design, see the quality, and they pay money for money.
The global wedding industry is estimated to be worth over $300 billion. As the wedding industry in Ghana grows, so does the need for service providers in various sectors, and this provides a unique opportunity for stakeholders in those industries. Reporting for Joy Business, this is Kukwa Apia.
And well, the bridal fair is on from now to Sunday, the 2nd of July. You may want to pass by the Accra International Conference Center. And that's it for this part of the bulletin. We're back with Business Agenda.
Business Live today.
Kukwa Band brings you today's Business Agenda.
Is here once again, and you're welcome to the Business Agenda. It is powered by Joy Business in association with myjoyonline.com/business. And today we're talking about entrepreneurship. And this is because the Chief Executive of Agri Business Support Organization, Mobile Business Clinic, Tanemba Anna Samaki, is making a call for entrepreneurs to place a lot more premium on their business models. This, for her, is crucial in attracting investments into their businesses.
The business venture must be also attractive. So that means you have identified correctly the market, you have sized the market, and there's a sizable and interesting market for investors to come in. And you have business model, meaning you tell the investor, you bring me $10, this is how I'm going to use it, and I'm going to make $20, and I will give you back your money. And most of the time, the issues with the entrepreneurs, especially at startup level, is the business model is not very strong. So they will start saying that we don't want to invest in startups. Startups are very risky. So you have to make sure you have the right fit between the entrepreneur, having the right qualities and the right capacities, and the business model. So if there is a fit between the two, there's a great chance you will have access to funding.
So you had a Chief Executive of Agri Business Support Organization, Mobile Business Clinic, MBC, Tanemba Anna Samaki. Now, let's get a reaction. I've been joined by the Chief Executive of online marketplace for authentic African goods, Jifa.com, and she's Jifa Akua Ametam. The point Tanemba Samaki is making is that premium should be placed on business models to be able to attract investments. Do you agree?
It's very important, but I do not think you should create a business model just to attract investors. Business models are supposed to be a map for your business. They're supposed to guide you, let you know if you're on the right track, if you're being distracted. So it's good for you. But I think at the core of every business, your ultimate goal should be, are you getting enough revenue? Are you getting traction? Those are the things investors want to see. You know, you can have a beautiful business plan, but if your business is not sustainable, nobody's going to invest their money in it.
So a lot of time should be spent knowing that environment.
Yes, have the basics right. What's the problem? What's the solution? Your market size, your plan to scale, but don't spend so much time on your business model that you are not actually running your business, which is very important.
With the mind to attract investment.
Exactly, attract investment, and even if when you bootstrap the right way, the right investors will come after you because they see the potential of your business and they see where it's going. And the business model is just a way for them to know. It's a quantitative analysis, an objective perspective of how your business is doing. Yeah.
So that was the Chief Executive of online marketplace for African goods, Jifa.com, and she is Jifa Akua Ametam. Do join us again another time for the Business Agenda. It's powered by Joy Business.
You're watching Business Live. We are moving on now to our interview of the day. And visiting Group Chief Executive of Unilever, Paul Pullman, has announced plans to create almost 5 million jobs in the country. The job, according to the group boss, would be created through some projects that it is currently undertaking in Ghana. Mr. Pullman announced that the company is working to invest some 35 million euros more this year to aid its expansion. Here's more in our interview of the day.
Interview of the day.
One of the reasons why we've signed today with the government the investment in the palm oil plantation here in Ghana, very important, not only creating decent jobs for people, but increasing yield so that they have better salaries, but also doing it sustainably. Just by moving to sustainable palm oil, we can increase the yield 3 to 4 times. And that's a great example of how everybody should be running their businesses.
You talked about some job creation, and I heard about 5 million, and I was so excited. How is this thing going to happen?
Well, it's very important that you invest in people and employment. We have a world where there are many people still in marginal jobs, especially here in Africa. The number of youths are going to double. In Ghana, you have 60% of the people that are below the age of 25, and that's probably a picture globally. Unfortunately, technology is coming as well, what people call the fourth industrial revolution, that is going to destroy jobs. Artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things. So if we don't think of economic models of inclusion, of job creation, it's not going to work for us. And you see it already happening. From Africa to Europe in the Mediterranean, 15,000 people have lost their lives just trying to cross. That's not a world I want to live in. So we have to create jobs for everybody. We have to create opportunities. That is why we think of our business models in terms of job creation. And agriculture is a wonderful way to do this. We all need to eat. Agriculture needs to employ a lot of people. And by the way, if we do it sustainably and efficiently, we can actually provide good livelihoods. That's why we built tea plantations in Africa. I just came from Indonesia. We are putting in a new palm oil sustainable plantation that creates 35,000 jobs. Here we are talking about, in the first step, creating 3,000 incremental jobs. So we have to think that way of inclusion. Then we create livelihoods, we create communities that then increasingly will be able to have a better life, buy our other products as well, and business will prosper. There is no business case in enduring poverty. If these countries don't function properly, then business cannot function properly either.
In terms of policy response, again, from government, what are you looking forward to? You've sunk in a lot of capital into this economy.
Oh, absolutely, and we have invested a lot in Ghana. Just in the last few years alone, we've built a factory, a warehouse. We continue to invest at 5-6 times the level of what we invest globally in an organization. Now a big commitment of an investment in palm oil. In 97 years that we've been here, we believe in the long term of Ghana. There's no question about that. But what we expect from governments always is when you invest, you want clarity and security. You want inflation to be under control, you want exchange rate stability, you want fiscal and monetary policies that are clear, and this government has that.
Interview of the day.
And this is where we say goodbye. Thanks for watching this edition of Business Live. We are back tomorrow with another edition. My name is Darryl Kwao.